Again, previous game was very lackluster for Blacklist, and once again, you have a lineup that is very passive. You got your team fight looks exceptional, and I honestly would probably say I prefer them as this game goes on. But are you going to be able to get to that stage? How much damage is Q going to be able to do with his Blink Dagger on the Tiny? The rotations from Lorinov with the Leshrac, the early burst damage from jabs as well. This is really something where Blacklists are going to have some difficulties with counteracting, and I wonder what Arbed's build's going to be. Like, have you got a preference at the moment with some of the OD items that we're getting out of this hero?
I've seen some Witchblade, some Mobility, and Eggs.
Yep.
I've seen a lot of builds like that. I think that's probably the best one at the moment. I've seen players experiment with Meteor Hammer as well because of the Kaya buff, but I don't think it's good. I think it's still kind of trashy. Just Witchblade, I feel, is the safest, Just right-click.
Just as I envisaged.
I'm just taking a look at the changes again, because I thought they did nerf his Scepter, and I just want to confirm. And yeah, they did. They nerfed it. It was like 60-second cooldown up to 80, because like last TI quals, I was hearing about this hero's Scepter be absolutely broken, and then I've seen people were picking up a little bit, and then it got nerfed kind of pretty heavily, so all things considering, like, he wasn't even picked that much. Savage dead? I don't think they have any spells. Yeah, I was a bit surprised at how much OD actually got nerfed, considering he wasn't really getting picked that much, but I still have heard some people say that his Scepter is quite strong, so let's see what stage of the game that Arbed's going to get to. This hero has not been... I mean, he was here with that Meteor Hammer kind of build, but besides that, we've not really seen like the crazy damage output OD for quite some time.
No,
like
I agree, yeah. It's just greedy mid. It's just a greedy mid that doesn't farm the stack super easily, so that's probably the main reason you want to see something that can make space, something that's active from that mid lane, and usually you wouldn't get that in OD, so... He'd be the one that's actually taking the farm, taking the space at least. I do believe he's not in a bad spot at the moment, so we'll see how well Arbed does and what the build is. I'm interested.
Yep. Let us see what Mr. Arbed's going to be able to pull out of the hat. How the other lane's looking at the moment. Looks like Palace off to a pretty good start. Morphling is struggling a little bit, kind of as to be expected with some of the early waves, but Savage, on his best hero, will be quite comfortable once he's able to get to a stage and maybe even Ollie level 2 and Fire Spirits. It's definitely when we see the Phoenix's lane, at least his presence be felt much more.
Felt at all, I would say.
Yeah.
Right? It's kind of sad. This hero is one of my favorite heroes for sure, and also one of those heroes that got nerfed so many times in a row, like... one patch after another. I feel like ever since he came into the game, it's just one nerf after another. He was way too broken. I remember when Fire Spirits level 1 gave you kill potential. Just Fire Spirits alone. That's it.
And yet he's still kind of been around. And you'd have to say, of course, Ollie, well, I guess he's Southeast Asian, but a lot of his career has been in China, and this was a big hero that China always prioritized. And we've seen that been the case when Ollie transitioned back to Southeast Asia as well, with the teams of Talon and now Aurora. Like, they really, really like this hero. Gives them team fight, which again was a big thing that we said Blacklist have an advantage in.
Yesterday we were jokingly. I jokingly asked you what should spell do to justify a 5-minute cooldown, and you said something like AOE stun hex, something like that, right? Like global. Well, Phoenix kind of does that, and it also goes through BKB, right? Like his egg effectively is an AOE stun that goes through BKB, and there aren't many things that do that. Plus it deals damage, so. It just changes the way the fights have to be played. It's a natural way to kite BKBs or force them to be wasted on you. And after that, your team can play around it, which is... and it's shiny. And it's nice. And you have
Yeah,
dive
yeah.
as well, of course. Like, there's a lot of good things about Phoenix, even if his spells are garbage. But when it comes to the numbers, the way you play around them is really nice.
And I really think another big thing about this hero was his level 6 spell amp getting actually removed for the Icarus dive damage. Because there was even some other qualifiers that I was watching. I think it was even... Oh, what qualifiers was it? It was, let's just say last TI, where we were getting Phoenix, like, they were going... You know, you'd get the level 10 talent, you get Agshot, and you were going Kaya. I was seeing Whitemon actually do that on his Phoenixes, and he was just doing, like, every single fight, like, most damage dealt. So yeah, it's a bit unfortunate that this Phoenix doesn't have that talent anymore with the percent damage on Spell Amp, because you were actually doing a stupid amount of damages. In fact, we're seeing that be the case on MJZ down bottom as well. Jabs with the Timber Chain over the top. They're actually going to look to try and TP in the line. Jabs with the slow. Not going to be able to catch up.
Did they kill the Timber, actually?
He's going to get held as well. Jab. Oh, very cute. Very cute.
Nice
Branch into the
branch.
chain to close the distance, and that will reward him first blood.
A nice branch play right there. He gets the first blood on the CM. It's just you didn't expect that, MJZ. Absolutely caught off guard. Nicely done by Jabs. Genius. We have seen Timbers play with the branches, of course, before, but this one gives him a first blood. Nice. Lion as well. Good job from him to realize that he can leave the Mars and TP down bot to at least get a kill on the Timber. How's mid, by the way? What's going on? 23 on OD. 14 denies.
That's
Jesus.
kind of maybe a couple more than I would thought, but definitely a lot of denies is what we see from the OD usually.
Let me be hyped.
I'm sorry. I mean, every single wave you can get a deny with Astral.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
even
know.
a second.
Yeah, it is a super damn annoying hero to play into, of course. It's one of those heroes you're just, when you kill him after the laning stage, you just want to tip the player. It's not even his fault. You know, he got picked this OD or he picked it, whatever, but you just want to tip him. You're like, yeah, screw your denies now. Or when you're playing versus Huskar, Oli, done.
Now they give him a kill as well. It's not good. He's at a good lane, you give him a kill. OD is my ban as well when I play. Whenever I play, I just... I see, buddy.
I just played versus some Huskar last night, and he owned me in the lane, and then I started killing him, and it was literally tip every single time, you know. It was the last pick Huskar, those.
It's worth the tips. They're filthy. Last pick Huskar, was he Grandmaster? Was he high tier? They're the worst as well. When they're like...
grand shit. That's what he was.
Grand shit. Who cares about the Grandmaster? He got the loss.
Well, he won in the end, but I got the
Okay.
loss. God damn it.
Hey, at least he did the mental damage, right? Yeah.
He never
man.
tipped back. I was shocked. I think that's why he won. He never tipped back. He never tilted. The mental warfare
I
didn't
see.
work.
Some big stacks right now from Mr. Q that he's making. He's going to be able to get the Wisdom Room as well. Like Radiant's Wisdom's going to stay up too, so Tim should be able to snipe that one. But you know, nothing too crazy going on. All the cores, minus the Lesh, having a pretty decent time, but Lorinov has got some stacks. So he should be able to get a decent amount of catch-up. A lot of it is going to depend once again on the power runes this game. Not as vital as last game, but it's more just for the Leshrac if it gets like a lucky regen or an arcane just to really help
haste.
getting back into this game. Yeah, haste, yeah.
To run someone down with Edict, yeah, oh, for sure. I love the way that all of these tier 1 teams from SCA are making sure that their mid laner recovers if he's not having the best lane. Every single time, if you see Abed having a bad lane, he's gonna have quadruple stacks all across the map. And the same is happening now for Aurora. Like, even though Lash didn't have the best lane, like he had a lot invested into him with the stacks.
Maybe, I mean, yeah, you can give it to Jabs as well if you really want to. So this is a hero that can do a lot with all the early gold injection. What do you want the build as well to be from the Timbersaw? Because we haven't seen this hero in a little bit of time. It's been banned pretty much every game we've been covering. So what is your preferred build currently as well in this hero?
Not too sure, like, what do you get on him? It's, does it matter that much? I'm seeing some blink daggers here and there as well. Like some crazy builds. But just tank up. I feel like it's actually interesting. You're playing into Lion and OD. Maybe even a Lotus eventually would be fine. Some Bloodstone. Would you opt to go for a Bloodstone on him? I feel like it's also decentish. That's something you build on Lash, right? Like Kaya and Bloodstones and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know how much like value Eternal Shroud has this game. It's an item we do see sometimes on the Timber. I would like a Blink. I feel like with the squishy heroes that Blacklist have, and again, they've got pretty good heroes versus the Timber, so just try and blow them up.
Yeah, because
we'll see.
That's the problem, right? Like it's a BKB is completely in as well. It's not out of the option. Like not something that you adore buying on Timber, but you're playing into an OD.
Oh, they got the Hexball for the attribute shift, and it's going to be a kill. Nicely done, and just a little bit too slow with the reactions. You are going to have a split second when Tim's pops out of the trees, but which is just slightly quicker, and that is all you need to be.
Sometimes you're just clicking the shop, you know, sometimes you're clicking the shop or Palos bot lane. Does use time walk? There's no way. He has chrono anyway. Sometimes you click the shop, you're buying an item or you're converting your neutral item, and it's the worst possible moment the gank comes. Even though it takes you a quarter of a second to buy or to press something, it can still catch you off guard with a capable Lion chrono mid.
Why not? This is a result of them getting no kills last game. Where's he gonna go to the Phoenix? Ollie, yep, you show for a second, eat the bubble.
I mean, it is possibly securing mid lane. Let's see. And Lorenov, he edicted. He actually wants to go in. This shield is big on Faceless Void, so just tanking it up.
Dude, I cannot stress enough how huge that is. Like Blacklist, this is a big critique that I had, is how they're actually going to be able to take objectives with the lineup they have, and they got mid tower 11 minutes in. That's incredible for the 5-man.
Yep. Jabs did get bot though, and he was kinda alone. So you invested a lot into taking this tier 1 mid. Meanwhile, Morph is farming top. Your Timber is taking bottom. It's like a trade that's, if you look at Aurora and the farm, they were just ahead. They lost the lead, but they're gonna get it again. The game's still even, all I'm saying. It's like, it's not like they lost a ton by losing that tower. And when it comes to objective taking, Lorenov will just blow up your tier 1 on his own eventually with Edict, so not the worst.
How do you look at this game in regards to like late game scaling potential? Because I see just an OD who's just going to carry this game, but I also see a Phoenix who is going to do so much with Supernova and Sunray, where they will not be able to kill the egg.
Yeah, but how much control do you have? You have Phoenix with Tiny, and that's it. Splitter, it is nice, but that's really not that great. So I'm looking at the super late game, and I'm valuing what Radiant have got. Like you said, the OD, but for me it's OD because of Mars and Void. Like you have this OD with these frontliners that will set things up for you. So Palos is not having the best, but not the worst game as well. He's getting farm on the Void, so he's happy. Gabby going for, if you look at him, not buying Blink again. I mean, Mars isn't buying Blink again first. He's going for...
It's on the car, it's on the car.
Is it? Okay,
yeah.
Good. Okay,
you
never mind.
This game?
Never mind, I love this. I was gonna say, without his blink, how do they initiate? How do they go? Like in the last game, Mars just couldn't start things off, and they didn't suffer because they had strong late game. I was thinking, okay, if you go big BKB, you also have strong late game, but nothing to play with.
Is that blink reveal? No way. No way he gets to... Okay.
Look at him.
If that did not connect, he was gonna chrono and he might still have to. Oh no, that doesn't feel good.
He didn't have to. Abed was behind. I feel like he would have gotten him, right? But why they didn't get that is because Q, he's mid, Teams is mid, sorry, and let's
They're
see,
going for this?
catch.
It's a pretty good freezing fill, but again, as soon as we see the egg, they need to retreat. It's where Jab's able to come into play. Abed will protect him momentarily. Gabby's still got the arena as well. Pins the Lesh. Sunray's going to be able to mitigate some of the damage, but not all the damage. Not with Abed's hammer. But now even Savage wants to show up to the team fight too. He's going to be able to play around with the Faceless Void Replicate. Tries to snipe down the OD. A quick timing in the Astral keeps Abed alive, but only momentarily as Jab's long timber chain over the top, sweeping over the remaining Blacklist members as Gabby will turn the river red, and Savage is going to be rewarded for showing up early here with the Morphling. Tim's not escaping with the Adaptive Strike flying over the top, as in the end, Aurora find a very good fight for them.
Yeah, they find it, but it's Blacklist. First, I would just have to commend Blacklist for making a really nice attempt at escaping these OD imprisonments, the arena. It was all really nicely done, but Aurora played better. Also, what needs to be said is that realistically, that was a gift to Blacklist if they just sacked CM. All they had to do is sack CM, sack MJZ and go back. But OD went in, he tried to save her with imprisonment, and then it all kind of rolled out of control, one kill after another. Because Egg was used, and you can see that they had no control. Like, Egg was used, and what you're gonna get to CM off of that? Like, sure, whatever, take it, take her. But they decided to fight, and in the end, it's the save your buddy syndrome, right?
Or why are you trying to get a close up of Timber? Oh, okay, he's bugged. Never mind. I get it. He looking funky right now. He looking extra funky. What's going on, actually? Why are you dancing like that? Oh, wait, I haven't seen this one. Oh, what is that timing? Oh, they misguessed the place, dude. Why did it look like this? All right, actually, how do I do the close-up thing again? I've removed my I've removed my button for it. Dude, he looks so weird. I've never seen this.
I love it. I love it.
Oh,
You
he's
mad
very
because I am.
Yeah, that's perfect.
He's just perma taunting everyone. Mid lane. Gabby. Yeah, he's fine.
Gabby. Yeah. Chilling. Game gonna continue to stall out a little bit. Savage, Manta, almost completed. Actually, might get jumped here as well. Let's see if they're gonna be able to get the timing. Spear tries to get him close to the Tims, but with the attribute shift out, they need to cancel this attempt, and they need to do a goddamn fast. But unfortunately, Gabby, he will not escape. Everyone else does, but the off lane up will be killed off for that attempt.
Yeah, the blink on Tiny is online, so instant smoke afterwards. They now have a way of actually initiating and starting off a fight without Timber having to be the one. Timber has a blink queued up, so that's nice. Kaya, Ogreax, Blacking Bar, obviously, straight into blink. Such a nice BKB game. I feel like he had to go for it, so he gets it.
Wonder... both sides have a lot of potential to look at Roche. I think Radiant more than Dire at this stage, just with the OD. We do have to kind of keep this in the back of the mind as Aurora wanting to try and take another fight. Only the Crystal Maiden that one unfortunately. Jab's already looking for the +1. We'll run into both Arbed and Tims, but with 23 Savage here, they should be able to clean up onto the secondary support as well. It is just a big question now. I'm like, how do you lead this into objective? Savage, are they starting to path towards Roche? They're pinging it out.
He's got Lads, they have Timber to tank it. It's doable with Lash as well coming in. It's doable. The only problem is there is this Chrono with Mjolnir if they decide to contest it, but without supports, without Mars, I feel like
Too fast
Too late.
anyway.
Yeah, yeah. Look at them. They're only about to get everyone smoked up. They still have Chrono. They can still decide to take this fight. It's not terrible if they can kill other targets.
They have an incredible ward though that's going to scout Aurora out on the way back to farming. Dude, this is such a huge ward. Gabby gets the jump in. He might just get blown up from 4 to 0. Gabby! Oh, it looked like a great start. Palace doesn't get clipped for the Fire Spirits, but no BKB protecting him from the stun. So Egg's going to pop. Do they still want to fight though, Blacklist? It's a 4v5, about to lose MJZ. It's looking messy. 23 Savage is about to come back through the portal as well. Q gets the combo off before his death and the damage has been dealt. Tiny has done his role, and a defensive Chrono is the statement on top just to showcase how poor of a fight this was for Blacklist. Palace will just be able to TP out into a tree line, but man, Blacklist can get nothing going in this series.
So basically, they smoked up and they had that perfect ward like you called, but what the problem was is Crystal Maiden and OD weren't connecting, and they were the damage. Lion was still kinda late because he was dead. OD is the main damage in the arena or the Chrono. The Mars initiates and OD is around the hard camp still, hitting creeps or something, I'm not sure. But he was around the hard camp when Mars was jumping in. So it's just like this, Mars. Okay, I caught you guys. Cool. It's like him alone surrounded by 5 heroes. Yeah, just some miscommunication happening from Blacklist. That's it. 'Cause they could have taken that fight. It with all the vision, with all the items that they've got, it doesn't look that terrible. Just you have to be all at the same time in the same place.
And you kind of can't... Oh, jabs. Okay. Just randomly leaps over the top, and it's going to be rewarded for that because there's a random Tim's here.
Void. He's being counted. No Yules though.
Whoa. Much damage.
Yeah. If he had Yules there or something like that to cancel, sure, but without it, kind of hard. They do get the Tormentor, and look at that, they get the shard for Phoenix.
Wow.
Yeah,
Shard.
it's the best shard they could have gotten, so, and he gets it. Super nice.
Very happy about that as Aurora. 10,000 net worth lead. Full control of this game, of this series as a whole as well. You know, we have mentioned though, like Blacklist still this late game lineup. It is a threat, but it is a concern that you're going to be playing down 10,000 gold, and there's still ages for a minute 50. They're going to go back, get their own wisdom, get their other tormentor, and this time the shard will go to the Leshrac out of all heroes. So that's another great shard.
Yeah, one on the Lesh. Now you have that splitter to work with in the Chronosphere or the arena. Super annoying to have these fights that are all around the same place when Lesh is just, you know, just spamming splittered. You can get stunned at any time. Smoke up, NJZ once again. Never lucky.
Is one.
At least it's support, right?
Yep. Yes, at least it is a support. I bet it's going Bloodstone. This is Bloodstone, right? I have to double check now. I always forget.
For us, man. He's got a blink and.
Oh, okay. No, dude. Okay, I'm not that dumb.
I mean, I am. It's fine.
He did have Bloodstone queued up, and then he changed as soon as I started looking up, and as soon as you looked.
No.
Savage?
I know.
Whoa! Well, he got the. Oh, yeah, he's got Ag Shard. Savage is fine. Actually, Tim's? Oh my god. They've done so much damage. Palace trying to TP out. He should be fine. Gabby's going to BKB TP out as well, so they'll just lose a line.
Yeah, it looks like, you know, we were talking about BKBs and how important they are for Dire, but it looks like Radiant, they're the ones unable to fight without the BKBs, and they have one on Mars already, of course, they're buying another one on Void. And this is the problem, like we talked about during the draft, we talked about I don't know if you remember, I mentioned why I liked Invoker better than OD, even though it feels like a perfect OD game. It's because there's still this downtime on OD that you have to go through, and the question still remains, can you go through it? Like, so far it's not looking amazing for Blacklist, they're 13k down. If they can win a fight off of high ground or two, this OD then becomes like an unstoppable beast, but he's quite far away
Might die here though.
Yeah.
Oh, nice reaction. Tim's going to be able to stop the toss out of the base now. Maybe this is the fight if they all TP back fast enough, but in BKB Egg, they won't even consider about coming back to potentially take a fight. Gabby might be able to catch Oli. Nice sure Scepter. Still, there's no dive, so it is a freebie.
I feel like that tag was a bit premature, right? Like, perhaps not as necessary, but you don't know that. You're thinking, okay, they might jump me, they have Faceless Void, they have Arena, so I might just as well plan that tag to prevent the enemy cores from killing mine. So I get it why he did it, but it was only the two of them left in the base anyway. And he just dies afterwards. There's no Aegis any longer on Aurora, so they have to be a bit more careful as well.
No, I think all your points about the OD weaknesses we're really seeing come into play now though. Like they haven't been able to make any plays this game, and this is this hero, and we see at the moment like all mid laners are tempo controlling. Like maybe you're not the heavy initiator like a Pango, Puck, or Storm, but the Leshrac is someone who can without a doubt control tempo with your tower taking potential, and you can show up to these early fights. Right. Yes,
one of the best tempo controllers. Like whenever you're playing against this hero, you constantly have vision on him, and that's because he's constantly taking your towers or doing something on the map. So OD definitely not one of those. He's more of a I want to get Parasma and Hex, Blink Hex, kill someone off, and it takes time. Even though he had a really nice lane.
That's really is the question now. Can he get that time? Because I really do still feel like he's going to be a gigantic threat if this game goes on, but one that you need to not have like a 45,000 deficit, and you know you also kind of need a base to be playing with. So Abed's got Blink now, which is very much going to help out with his positioning inside fights. He's had some very good astrals, like defensively keeping people alive. He's got level 15 talent too, so actually goes for the movement speed. So it will further help out with his positioning, but a lot of this comes down to Roche. Do we get a fast Roche spawn? Because if it's going to be quick, Aurora, they'll get Aegis, and they'll probably consider about maybe one pick off into walking high ground. Maybe they'll wait their next item, like Jab's Hex queued up. That's a huge item for him. You're close to Bloodstone as well, so maybe they'll get Aegis and then one item and then go. And it's just, can Blacklist deal with that?
Oh, they're smoking up. They want to prevent the game from reaching that point. Lorenov, he might be...
He's got BKB though. And Q behind it, but the speed, perfect timing from Gabby. That is how they need to start the fight. Can they get more though? It's a big advantage they're working with currently. A 4v4 and a Chrono flying over the top. They speed push him out. It's not the worst, but once Jab spots BKB, now it looks pretty difficult. He's got no chain to be able to get away to. And Savage as well creates some separation. Abed just able to slip out of danger. And regardless, it's a pretty goddamn good egg as well. Once again, we see wherever it is used, Blacklist have to be hesitant. But dude, I thought in the end the spear might actually be okay, but you know, it pops the BKB and stops a lot of the damage at Abed.
If they had Lion alive, it would be a great spear, right? To continue controlling the Timber, but once he pops that BKB, he becomes almost unkillable for the OD, and no damage is dealt by him. Lesh as well, I feel like he had the moment to use the BKB, but he decided not to.
This is very scary though. You're gonna have Lesh up in a couple seconds and Roche in 10, and no big ultimates for Blacklist.
Yeah, same on the other side. You don't have the egg, right? But that's your only big ulti, so you don't care as much.
Palos gets split from the team. Palos Oh, it's a great stun from Tims. All they needed was a split second of extra damage and Palace would have gone down, and Blacklist, it's an all-out retreat, but this is a scary spot. Q, he's lining up the combo. They're all grouped up. Fortunately, the creeps are going to scout him out, but Jabs, there we go. Q finds a different angle instead. On to 3, and everyone follows as well. They see a moment of opportunity to pounce, and they will not hesitate. Aurora, 2 big kills for them, and once again, they'll be able to reap the rewards and get this second Roche.
Such a treat to see Q eyeing them down and you actually calling it as well. It's just very nicely done. He knows. They know they're screwed. He knows they're screwed. Everyone knows they're screwed. It's just a matter of time as they're trying to, because it's such a bad angle that you're running through. You can't run anywhere else. Like, you're right next to the wall, so you know they're there, and Tiny, it's just a matter of time before he jumps in. Perfectly done. Cheese will be picked up by Lesh. Aegis is on 23 now. He's almost level 20. Everything is lining up really nicely for them. Jabs as well getting... You called out the Hex. He's got that Tiara of Salamania, and he's got the recipe. He just needs the Mystic Staff now, around 1,000 gold. In a pretty damn good spot, and with that Hex, suddenly even these Void kills, where he was super elusive and able to get out, like he won't be able to do so any longer.
Maybe 2 fights away, potentially Aurora, of moving on to the final day here in the DreamLeague qualifiers. Of course, on the other channel currently, we got Geek Fam up against Talon in the upper bracket, which will determine who makes it into the grand final. Of course, the loser is going to play the winner of this series. Regardless, it's going to be an incredibly exciting matchup for whoever is able to make it. Currently, Aurora, though, one's in the lead and one's potentially, if a couple fights, are going to be able to get there.
There is one guy that really wanted to dish out a lot of right-click damage last game and didn't manage to. That's Gabby, like with his Omni Knight. This time around, he's buying Remnant's Brooch. So he's gonna have it. He has the Sacred Relic and Voodoo Mask as well. He's really close. He'll have that damage on the bonk, and it's really nice versus Morphling, right? It's really nice versus Timber as well, but specifically versus Morphling, because you can cut through all that 45 armor that he's got.
Still feels like it's such a long build-up, though, and everything we keep saying for Blacklist is just one more item, 5 more minutes.
The next item is Rapier on Gabby, so yeah, he'll be able to one-shot these plebs if he manages to get to it. But these plebs are scary on the other side. I call them plebs as a term of endearment. I'm pretty sure that they have got this game 20k in. Ooh. Jump in from Jabs. He's got that Hex, so he's hunting.
Let's see how they try and set up the siege, though, on Aurora. This is still... You still do very much have to be cautious. Like a well-timed chrono. I guess a big thing is, like, Savage has had the Ag shot for quite some time, so it's going to be very difficult for him to be killed. And Q, dude, he's itemizing Wind Waker. Like, he's already recognizing late game, like, this chain control into burst is going to be the biggest issue. B, maybe back to the tower? No one's going to follow up, and now potentially... Palace, that's a great Chronosphere onto 3. You get the kill into the Phoenix. You sacrifice your Mars's life for that, though. And I don't know if it's enough. No one else was really there to follow up with the damage inside the Chronosphere.
Yeah, that's the problem. I feel like Mars is way more important for them than the Phoenix is for Aurora, so... How do you stop this? Let's see. Lash will just Diabolic Edict. You don't even have to do it.
Who forced him? No! Who did that?
There's only one, right? There's only one Force Staff. That's the OD. That's the Pycon OD, right?
No!
I'm looking through items. Unless someone sold the Force to hide himself really quickly, there was one Force. Yeah, he's like, yeah, I'm gonna deal more damage than you, bro.
Dude! Dude, I thought Aurora just made the clutchest play. That looked so sick if that was like intentional from them to force in that split earth timing. But Ahmed's just trolling. He's legitimately trolling. They just lost 2 full sets of barracks because of that. Like, that's so funny.
The Pike of Doom.
Oh no.
Come on, be honest. Did that never happen to you? Like forcing someone in the wrong direction because you're hoping he's gonna turn, he doesn't.
Ooh.
Bonk. Yeah, it's a lot of damage.
But maybe he's getting bonked. Hang on as well. He pulls the half pretty quick.
That's the problem, right? All he has for strength is a BKB and the bracers, so a bit from.
But it's Megas. Oh no, man, there's a barracks top. But it doesn't have a lot left. Gabby, great BKB timing. They're going to try and turn to deal with the egg, and finally they'll be able to deal with it. First fight, they'll bring down that big ultimate that they've been struggling with. Aegis gets claimed as well. Can they set up for the respawn? Abed still sending his clips, ready to go. Laurenov deep inside the base, but he's got Cheese ready to bait if they overcommit. Q as well. Waiting down at the bottom for that angle to jump in. Full set of barracks claim mid, and just the range dead up top.
Just one more Rax. You can send in the Lash, right? Is there a there is a Chronosphere. You're Blacklist right now. You don't have Mars for 30 more. Let's see. This range is...
dude. It's I was gonna say, it's just the supports hitting the wave. Like, they know what's going on. You need Arbet this time to hit in Chrono, and they're not even gonna defend it. Okay, Megan's.
It's a range Rax. If it was melee, at least maybe you can defend, but you have to know that Rax is gonna fall. Is it gonna fall in 30 seconds or in 1 minute? You're bound to play against Megas regardless. The only nice thing about that Rax was it's a big bait that you can center your Chrono around, but they decided not to.
It is a 0% chance apparently. Dota plus. I have seen this before. The teams have, you know, they've done some crazy things in Dota history, but like this would have to be a hell of a comeback, especially considering kind of what they're fighting for right now. This is your qualifier lives, and this is a team as an organization who've very much struggled with the introduction of them. You know, with Blacklist coming in, they've had multiple iterations. Really, the only thing that they've looked good in was the Predator League that they won with Raven and with Carlo on that team. Of course, there were the strength of teams there. It was something you could argue, but Blacklist as an organization have very much struggled so far with some incredible star-studded names on this roster, and for them to bow out of another qualifiers would be devastating for them and devastating for their fans and org. So let's see if they can pull something crazy out.
See, there's that smoke happening before Skadi is even completed on Morph, so maybe.
I see him.
Boy, TP then.
Oh, what a timing! What a timing! He doesn't have buyback! It lines it too! Oh,
I mean, there's no way. The 4-step and then the splitter. They smoke up, but what can they do? Versus Megas.
They gotta go. Just find an angle. Jump the backline, but you need to jump the front as well, because Laurenov, he's just gonna kill the base and they'll call it.
They call it as they initiate.
This is a devastating series for Blacklist to be eliminated from, but in the end, Aurora does too goddamn good today. They will knock Blacklist out of the DreamLeague season.